can you share a bit about who you are? Tell us about your personal journey, and then you can lead us into your experience in the gig economy or creative economy, if that's where you are, and then the specific moments that made you choose that path. An all-encompassing answer would be nice.
Okay. So, my name's Michael Oluwaseun Godipe. I have a background in economics from Lee City University. So, if I have to talk about myself, I'm a very curious person. I'm a lover of art, music, art, and I'm also very inquisitive. I would like to find out about things. So, my journey into the gig economy is quite a funny one, because I was asleep and I got a call, and the person called me. I was like, I have something going on, and the first person that came to my mind is you. These are the type of things I know you'll be able to do. So that's how it started for me. And frankly speaking, I get such calls too, but I've never actually, taken it serious, because once people reach out, they're like, now you go fit do this thing. Now what you go fit do? So I've never really taken, previous calls, previous conversations like that serious. And at that point in time, I have a background in customer service, worked with MTN for a while. And did a bit of agric as well, so I move about and all. So the call came at a period where I was finding a balance of what I was going to do next. So it was a bit of confusion around that period, because I just got out of agric. I lost money doing agric, so it was a pivotal moment, because I was trying to get back up, and that call actually gave me that leap, to delve into what I'm doing now. So when the call came in, I said, fine. Even though I don't know what it was all about, I said, okay, I'll do it. So, I started, then one of the attributes that I have, that I know about myself, is I'm a people person, right? So, and I'm also, I'm a builder. Like, I build relationships. So when people, I manage relationships so well. So, getting into the gig, the first gig, so it was easy for me to relate with people. So I now checked. I was like, okay, what is it that I'm going to? What's the takeaway from the first gig? What's the takeaway? And I said, I get along with people. People come to me, for advice. When people are having issues, I'm the one that it's like I'm a bridge builder, So I said, okay, then I know how to manage people's, I know how to manage people. I said, okay, I think I'll do project management. So that was how my journey into, project management started, which actually, deals with, managing people, conflict management, collaborating, leading people and all that. So I just felt that, I need to turn my innate quality into a particular profession. And I just, part of my story is just that. So I just figured out that anything that I have to do is something I need to enjoy doing. Like, it doesn't have to be boring. So on that note, it took me into project management, and it's not boring. I enjoy talking to people. I'm a good listener. I can listen to you for like an hour or more. So it's a thing I love. So that was how my journey into what I'm currently doing started.
Nice. That's the beauty of the gig economy. It's dynamic. It opens up opportunities, and it can also be very, very, very confusing, as you've said. And as you evolve, you develop a system and a framework. Now, I was going to ask quickly if you had any role models or people that inspired inspired your journey as you've been navigating it. But if there is not, we can move on. But is there maybe just a brief?
No, I've always stumbled on things on my own.
Perfect. Thank you. So now let's talk about the professional framework and process. What does a typical day or week look like for you? Can you walk us through your routine or process and how you navigate, your day and your life? As a gig economy worker or as a project manager?
Okay, I sleep early, so I can wake up early, and so my day starts 5 a.m. every day. Like for the past 1 year, my alarm has been ringing every 5 a.m. Sometimes I wake up before then, but 5 a.m. it comes up. So once I wake up, conduct my early morning prayers, the first thing I do is to try to stay productive before 7 or 6 so that I can clear, something. I might not have anything to do at that particular day, but I, pick up my laptop or my phone. So I have some apps that I read stuff from. So I read if I don't have anything to do. I just read to get more information about what is happening in my industry and other areas of interest that I have interest in. So, but on a typical day that I have a job that I need to do. So once I do that, I get on meetings, then try to get through the day. But days I don't have anything to do, I just do research, read, then in the evening I go out to hang out, take 1 or 2 bottles and come back in and repeat the process.
I like that, 1 or 2 bottles. I like how you put that in there. Now, this is if I understand correctly, you adapt to the day.
Yes.
And there are specific things that are recurring, like studying, research, and then meetings if there is. All of these things can be done without a tool, whether
Yes.
digital or analog. In your opinion, can you list your top 3 tools that you can't do without, and why are they so essential to your work?
Okay. First things first. I use Google Workspace because it requires me not to download and install anything and start looking for product key. So it's a lifesaver and it's easy to use. Then, like I said, I do a lot of research. So I'm heavy on Reddit. So because the reason why I'm heavy on Reddit is a problem-solving platform. So once I go there, I just go. So I'm in different subreddits, personal finance, growth, project management, and lifestyle, healthy living, and all that. So I just go there to see what is happening, the challenges people are going through, and the recommendations other Redditors are actually preferring. So it also opened my eyes to other areas, other things I'm not aware of. So it keeps me updated on certain trends in my industry and in some other spaces that I don't know is happening. Then, secondly, ChatGPT. Thirdly, ChatGPT. And I'm learning prompt engineering on the side. So I just go there, put some prompts there and see, just playing around and all that. But it's something I use regularly.
Nice. It's funny because I asked somebody the same question, and like you, they listed digital tools. I wonder, is there any form of analog tools that are still featuring in people's lives today? Is there any form of analog process or tool that you particularly use?
Honestly,
You don't write anymore?
I don't. Honestly, I don't.
Thank you. I was just touching on that because it's a trend I'm seeing. So we're a full-on digital savvy world now.
Yes.
And I imagine that that's also crucial to the success of your gig economy practice.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Now, before I move on, you had mentioned waking up at 5 a.m. So that could be an example of a ritual or a habit. I wanted to just understand quickly, are there, for the sake of the listeners, are there any particular habits or rituals that have been key to you managing your life and your success?
So I think the most important thing that has always, put me one step ahead of, one step ahead, yes. Let me just, one step ahead is, the only thing I do more, or I do the most is research. I love reading, I love books. And so the only thing that matters to me is, doing more research. And it actually keeps me, ahead when I'm having conversations with people, it actually draws me closer to even something that is not yet in vogue, but I get those informations earlier because, you know, I read a lot and I do research. So I think if there's anything I say I do the most, apart from, you know, drinking, is reading.
I like that. I like that. Okay. Okay, but if I summarize properly, what has made you an early adopter and
Yes.
continuously keeping you fresh and efficient
Yes.
is the habit of researching.
Research, yes.
And the tools that you use are both ChatGPT, internet, and if I understand correctly, discussing with friends and listening to people as well.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
I pick a lot of information.
All right, thank you. This is moving very well. Now, nothing happens in this world without challenges and obstacles.
Yes.
So I would like to understand, for you, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your journey so far, and how did you overcome them?
Wow. You know, when it comes to challenges, I see them as obstacles and stepping stones, you know, into success. You know, so I've had a fair share, you know, of, you know, challenges, some personal, you know, within, some, you know, beyond me, and my mantra is, if I've done it before, I can always do it again. So, you know, so that's what has always, you know, that's what has kept me going. You know, so, you know, when I actually look back at my journey, you know, I've done a lot of things. You know, I've done a lot of things.
Indulge me, please.
I've done a lot of things, and it's so funny because, you know, so I think. I've dabbled into so many things. I've had so many challenges. So, you know, I think the major challenge for me, you know, on my journey is, you know, after I left my MTN job, you know, I was at MTN for like 4 years. I was looking for what to do, and I'm a very, very financially disciplined person. Very, very financially disciplined. So while I was trying to look for what to do, you know, I decided to go into agri. Let me go into agri, you know, commodities. I travel a lot, you know, spend all my time trying to. It's just about me finding myself too, because honestly, you don't get to find yourself until you see something that you are passionate about, and like I said earlier, you don't get bored doing it. So, you know, did agri, lost, you know, 80% of my savings into it. So I was not depressed. No, because I'm not somebody I'm never going to be a depressed person, because, so, but it set me aback. It set me aback because I had plans. And, you know, I had plans. I wanted to do some other stuff. So somebody came and like, well, I actually enjoyed it. I learned a whole lot. And if you ask me, was the money worth losing? I'll say yes, because the experience I got, traveling up and down, what I know today, right? The money I lost is actually what the experience I gained from it, and so I believe that if I've lost anything, I worked, you know, my ass off to get it, and I can always do it again. So me navigating through my challenges is just having this positive mindset that if I've done it before, I can do it again.
I guess that by default answers the next set of questions, because if I understand what you've just said, you had your corporate background, you dabbled into a bit of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You lost major money, but in the course of dabbling, you were exposed and you traveled.
Yes.
And that is the return on investment for you.
Yes.
The experience. And you've handled it with positivity. So
Absolutely.
I suppose that's the message today, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, that is on the more positive level. That's how you survived. What we want to tap into now would be how you handled that period. Because we imagine that for the audience who are seeking to us for updates, they would have seen, how do you handle periods of low motivation or creative blocks?
Okay, for me as an individual, I, you know, conduct self-appraisal for myself, so most of the time. So, and the best, the times that I've been able to pull myself out of situations are when I actually when I actually I give myself some personal time, and I try to move away from people. I have this very very I have this period that I just go on the low. So those are moments that I actually sit back, I reflect, I look at, I do some self-appraisal, look at the things I've done previously, probably the past couple of months, and how I have fared, and have I really, met some of the set targets I have for myself. If not, I, sit back, look for how to devise new strategies on how I need to do things right. So but the thing is that when I go low and do those self-appraisal, I always come out strong, and I always do things. Those moments allow me to clear my head. So I used to have those moments that I just be on my own. I don't talk to people. Sometimes I have to even switch off my phone because there are a lot of distractions, and there are some people that will reach out to you that you can't actually say no to. So they would be a distraction. So the best thing for me to do at that moment is not to listen to anyone. My WhatsApp is always on. I can turn off my line, and so I can better manage information that is coming to me since I'm not, verbally having conversations with you. So those are the ways I actually, have my own relapse and then,
Nice.
get back.
Thank you. I think that's a beautiful thing to learn. We don't pay enough attention to it. That we often struggle and we want so much emotions. And if we take some cue from religion books,
Yeah.
as well as from just even physics, sometimes potential energy can amass when we stop and just recalibrate
Yes.
or reassess.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Mr. Michael Oluwaseun Ogundipe, thank you so much for still being with us on Updates. You've been giving us some really, really good insights and dropping the right kind of meaningful updates for us and for our audience. Still speaking about the gig economy and drawing from your wealth of experience, what are some misconceptions that people have about working in the gig economy in Nigeria?
I think basically, first things first, let me deviate a bit. I'm always an early adopter. And, I forgot to say this when I was in school, let me just go back a bit and so I can, put the pieces together. One of the first things I did when I was in 100 level in school was, there was something called Niger Gurus. It was something like the Instagram of today. So we're going to school parties to cover event and putting it online. So, and I remember having conversation with one of the club chiefs, and it was like, nobody's going to go online. People, read hard copies of the news of magazines and all that. But today, something similar is out there, which is Instagram, whereby you can actually just, go there, look up pictures, post up pictures and all that. So, and that's why I said I'm an early adopter, and I do research a lot. So, fast forward from that to when I left my MTN job. I also did a little bit of digital marketing. I went to learn digital marketing, so I just learned it. I never knew what I wanted to do. Just learned it, but I was still reading about it. So, but the melting pot, that pivotal moment was, after I did agric, and I was like, if I'm going to do any other thing, it has to be something that I'm creating value with the skills I've acquired. I'm not doing maybe buying and selling. I might do buying and selling, but it has to be something of value whereby it is skills I am selling. You understand? So now, and that brought me into what I'm doing today. And I still did a lot of research as well. And, I think COVID actually, it has been happening before COVID, but COVID actually popularized it. But the thing with, the society we find ourselves in is that they want to see workings, right? And, people here believe, if you're in the gig economy, you're not a serious person, you are lazy, you don't have a focus, right? So that's what they believe. But the thing is far from it, and it's far from the misconception, because you need to move in line with the world, and we're talking AI right now, and China is even talking about quantum technology, right, which is even far from AI. So the misconception is that people just feel that people in the gig economy are not focused, they're lazy, and they're virtually not doing anything with their lives. But there's so much going on in that space. There's so much opportunity going on in that space. The way the workspace has really, really changed. You can collaborate with people, 1,000 nautical miles away from you, and you can also learn. We're talking about, breaking barriers, right? Breaking language barriers, also breaking technological barriers, and being in a community whereby you tend to learn about other people's, culture and perspective. So for me, it's the best thing that has happened, to humans right now, and there's still more, that is going to happen, and so.
Which leads me to the next question by default, right? From where you sit as an early adopter, speaking specifically locally and then balancing it out with globally, zoom forward to 5 years from now.
Yeah.
How do you see the gig economy evolving?
5 years from now, the gig economy is going to be as big as let me see, it's going to be on par with the telecom industry. Let me just put it that way, because that's one of the biggest industry in Nigeria, right? And it actually brings in more of the, right now, in the next 5 years, it's going to bring more, investment. Yes, more foreign direct investments into the economy, because there's actually a company that I know of that they only recruit Nigerians. It's a US company. I don't want to mention their names. They strictly recruit Nigerians.
Drop updates. This is the update. So if you drop the name of the company, it's still.
Okay. So it's called Talent Hackers.
Yeah, we
right?
don't hide updates.
No, I thought before you want to give.
No,
Okay. So it's called Talent Hackers. So because they believe that Nigerians are smart people, when we talk about tech, we are number one in Africa, and the leading fintechs, the leading food techs, they are all, all Nigerians, so they are all here. So they recruit straightly Nigerians, and that's to show you that they see, opportunities here that we are not even seeing. So, and I think the issue in our current society is more of a cultural thing. It's more of a cultural thing, and then again, like if somebody's not aware of something, or like I said, Nigeria, you have to show workings. You have to show workings that this is what I do. This thing can get you money. Like you don't literally need to leave and you can actually still learn, right? You can take courses. Some courses will take you, 30 minutes, So in the next 5 years, it's going to be big. Trust me, it's going to be big.
Speaking of big and the thoughts you've shared, you don't have to leave your desk, you don't have to leave your home, you can be a stay-at-home mom and pick up gig jobs.
Yes.
You can be a talented person 1,000 nautical miles away and still pick up jobs. These are the message that you're preaching about the gig economy.
Yes.
Now, we're going to put this in two buckets. We're going to evaluate the opportunities and we're going to evaluate the risk. Especially for someone just starting out in the space today. What would you say are the unique opportunities? Maybe list a good 4 or 3 so that we are concise with it. What would you say are the unique opportunities for someone starting out in the gig economy space today?
I think first things first, like I said earlier, you need to do something that you're passionate about, and not necessarily passionate. You can be passionate that you might not find it interesting, it can be boring. There are two different things, So for me, I would say look for something that you enjoy doing. Like that even in your lowest moments, once they call you, you are readily available to do it, right? So there are a lot of opportunities. First things first, knowledge acquisition is quite easy. You don't need to go to the four walls of the college or university to gain knowledge, right? And also collaboration. Do you understand? It exposes you to other areas that you are not aware it exists, right? And you also get mentorship as well.
So if I understand correctly, there's opportunities to collaborate with
Yes.
other people
Yes.
in the gig economy space.
Yes.
That you can do things that you're passionate or care about, or
Yes.
things that do not feel like work. So it's
Yes.
flow.
Yes.
And then the last one being mentorship.
Mentorship, yes.
To find guidance.
Yes. So.
Okay. So for most persons, let's quickly just tie this to you. Quick examples. Where are you finding these things? For knowledge acquisition, where do you go? For mentorship, what do you do? For you know what I mean? If you can quickly summarize that for the audience.
Okay. So this is what I do on the digital space, right? So I have curated the information. I curated the information that I consume, right? Because like I mentioned, I love to read. So, for instance, when it comes to project management, I have some thought leaders. Like in Clubhouse, we have a Clubhouse group about project management that they share insights about updates on trends and what to do and what not to do. Then on Twitter as well, because I think for digital marketing, which I'm also passionate about, which I've done before, there is a guy that Neil Patel. So he owns Uber Suggest, and so I follow the guy. So most of the things I do is I turn on my notifications so that when I get a new update from the guy, and also subscribe to his newsletter, so I pick up, so that I can say that particular guy in the digital marketing space is like a mentor, because I pick up things from their updates, and the rest. So I think basically, if I have to advise anyone, you need to just curate the information you get from the digital space, right? So that you can, sieve the information and look, okay, this is what I want to get from here. This is what I want to get from here.
I think what's beautiful about what you've also pointed out is that you're referring to individuals that you don't even know from Adam. You don't see them day to day.
Yes.
You don't interact with their realities, but you are following their work online.
Yes.
And because of your curiosity about the gig economy, you're able to learn from someone who is far away from you, and you're able to draw knowledge from them. And your activity, your action is that you turn on notification on their platforms so that you can curate and then consume.
Absolutely.
I think that's really brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, let's think about risk.
Okay.
Everything has got risk, inherently or outwardly. Now, for someone starting out in this space, what are the potential risks that you think they would face? Just maybe quickly touch on that before we move on.
So I think the advantages far outweighs the risk. So I've actually not thought about, maybe the risk associated with it, but I think if I have to say anything based on my knowledge on, cyberspace, some gigs are not actually, they're not actually, I don't know how to put it, but some jobs, let me just, some online jobs, let me just, put it that way. Some online jobs are not real, right? So because of the enthusiasm from, somebody that is just in the space, you tend to actually apply for some of, the gigs you see without doing due diligence. So because of my broad knowledge, in the online space, in fact, let me just give you a story about, I have a friend, he's in Canada, right? So once he's trying to apply for a job, so once he sees any job online, he comes to me. And I keep wondering, why is this guy coming to me? So he wants me to verify, I'm in Nigeria, you understand? But then again, I've helped him to twat 2 fake jobs online because of my due diligence, because I've spent quite a number of years on that space. So I've been able to notice the red flags. I've been able to see, in fact, once I read through, I already know, no, this is not it. So I think basically it's just to look for somebody in the space that has been there for a while, and lean towards that person and always reach out. It's always good to reach out to people and ask questions and like, this is what I came across. Can you help me look into this? But the benefit outweighs the risk.
I like that. I like how you summarized that very well and in a very honest way. The benefit outweighs the risk, but no doubt the risk inherent is that your enthusiasm can be used the wrong way and it can lead to scam.
Yes.
But you've already pointed out the solution: due diligence, find testimonials that you can trust, or materials that can show workings.
Yes.
Now, let's go to financial and personal management. We are on the last 30 minutes of this updates, and you've dropped some serious gem. So thank you for sticking with us through this.
You're welcome.
Now, let's talk about financial and personal management.
Yes.
Managing finances is often a challenge in the gig economy because of the, how unregulated or how constant or consistent that the income may flow.
Yes.
For you and for the people listening, what are some tips for managing personal finances? Because you did say you're a very frugal person. How have you been managing that? Can you share some tips that you've used for us?
Okay, basically, financial discipline is what everybody should inculcate because, it's very, very important. So, and the gig economy is different from a salaried occupation, whereby your income is constant, like, month end, you're receiving a lot. So, in the gig economy, you might not do anything for 2 or 3 months, So, what happens within that space that you're not doing anything? You are going to be spending money, nothing is coming in. You might even be taking a particular course that is draining your pocket, right? So, what I've been able to do over the years, even before getting into the gig economy, is like I've been able to segment how I, my income, I have what I call emergency funds, which give or take something goes in there. I have, the normal savings, right, which is there. There's an investment account and there's a petty cash for daily activities. So I think basically it's just setting priorities right. And for me, some people would say when you get an income, you can do maybe 40% emergency funds, another 30% for maybe investment, but depending on how you're earning, it's going to determine what you put in each bucket. But so I would advise, like emergency funds is critical, you understand, and one needs to be disciplined enough not to, because we're in a city whereby that nightlife, the lifestyle, they say lifestyle costs to. So, so when you get carried away too easily, and you just find out that, and the truth about finances is that, and I tell people, like, it's when you get sick that you don't have money. When you are terribly ill, then you know that you don't have anything, because it drains you. So, but then again, it could serve as a cushion. So, so that by those times that you are not doing anything, you can have something to fall back on while you get the next break and all that before you see something constant. So that's what I've been doing myself.
Thank you. I'll throw in a little bit in there. I think it also helps that, as you've pointed out, the ability to do multiple things means that the gig economy professional is spreading their eggs in different baskets, so that
absolutely
beyond even saving,
yes,
you have you're picking up gigs for you also have the one that serves you for your short term, the gigs that serve you for your long term, and the gigs that are recurring. You know what I mean? And that's something we're trying to figure out at Get Urgent 2K, where on the marketplace you can find things that you can do instantly when you show up, and things that can be more long term or recurring. Because it's important that we are able to make the product fit into the lifestyle of the gig economy professional. Now, you've executed quite a lot of significant projects that you are proud of, I imagine so. But I want to zoom in. Is there a particular project or achievement that you're most proud of, and why does it stand out for you?
Well, I think if I have to pick a particular project, I think it's the one we just concluded, the Money Point, projects. I and that is the first time I would really be working with, diverse people and, people of different characters. And, then again, and I think basically why I'm more particular about this project is because, I had issues with a whole lot of people. A lot of people got on my nerves. I'm somebody that rarely gets angry. And a whole lot of people, got on my nerves. But I was able to manage the situation. Do you understand? And I think, so at the end of the day, those people that, I had issues with, I won't say I had issues with them, so to say, but it was more of, team management issue and conflict resolution issue, and humans will always be humans. You understand? But at the end of the day, most of them came back, and they came back to me personally, and they were happy about the way I managed the situation, and they were not expecting me to actually do certain things that I did. So, they were shocked, they were held into silence. I was like, so even with the way I behaved, you can still look out for me. You understand? So, and we've been able to create bonds, we've met a lot of people, they reach out even without, when there's nothing to do. And I've actually had a case of, someone that was told she was going to get arrested. So she had a case with a supervisor. Because of the fact that they told her she was going to get arrested, she was agitated and she lambasted one of the supervisors. And they reported that to me, and we spoke at length. And when she eventually shared a moment after the gig ended, and she was more of she was more of happy that she was able to do the task, complete the task. And part of the things that she mentioned was that I was the reason why she completed it, because of the way I spoke to her, the way I motivated her, to do it, and she was able to do it, and she also learned a whole lot of stuff. So those type of feedback, actually, put me. Actually motivates me too, that I'm able to, someone that was, someone that wanted to give up halfway, I was able to actually motivate the person, to do that. So
that's a good one. Thank you. I think people forget that when we talk about our jobs, we're talking about human relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
We may say titles, we may say slogans, we may say achievements, but at its core, project management that you are excelling at, it involves people and
Absolutely.
not just systems.
Yes.
And if there's anything about people, being able to connect with them can make a huge difference.
Yes.
And I imagine that that's what you're saying here,
Yeah, absolutely.
has been the icing on the cake for you. Thank you. Speaking of being stuck or having issues, I would evolve this question in there, and we're very close to the end, so we are getting into more like reflective zones. What message would you like to leave for anyone, or what updates would you like to drop for anyone who is just starting out, one, or they are feeling stuck in their journey? What kind of message would you have for such individual or individuals? Drop an update on that.
First things first, there will always be challenges, and there will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges, there will always be obstacles. And I think the most important thing is perseverance, right? Because people get tired too easily, it's not a bad thing to get tired, because you always get tired. But like they say, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You understand? And there was a part of a book I read one time saying, that if I can plant myself in another soil and blossom, it means that the place I left, right, to go to the place I blossom, I can also blossom in that same place, right? So my takeaway is, you always get tired, right? But first things first, do something that you love, something that it's interesting. You understand that when you wake up early in the morning, in fact, when they wake you up from sleep, you can say 5 pages of a notebook about that thing because it's really here. And then again, you know, seek out, you know, thought leaders, people that, you know, in the space that, you know, reach out to them, talk to them, you know, their experiences can actually guide you, you know, to make better and informed decisions.
For gig workers like yourself and for digital workers like yourself, how do you, two questions, you can answer the two of them together. How do you how do you identify and secure new opportunities? Seeing as you live in Nigeria, how do you do this?
Okay, basically, in Nigeria, there is a platform that, you know, that I use, you know, it's called Urgent 2K platform, which actually has, you know, myriads of different gigs, you know, from market research.
Why are you talking about it as if it's not us? Tell us how you use our products. We're not shy. Drop updates.
From market research, you know, to, you know, data collation, you know, from cooking gigs and all that. So I'm also an early adopter of Urgent 2K. So and I think I started with Culture Foundry. I remember one of those Maltina surveys back then. So it actually piqued my curiosity, and you know, and from then on, you know, it has always been the source of, you know, it has always been a community that I go to, you know, to look for gigs. And also they also have a community, you know, a POI community that, you know, the information and updates are always there to keep you up to date about what is trending and the gigs that are available out there. So.
Thank you. It's impressive to have this conversation with you because you represent one of the most important type of earners for us at Get Urgent 2K, because you started out filling surveys for us and you've evolved from filling those type of short form gig surveys to focus groups to project managing some of our biggest nationwide projects. So ironically, can you quickly talk about that journey? How, you know, what does that look like for you?
Well, it's been a fantastic ride, and you know, it's been fun. And I remember when I picked up the ferry, I was like, you know. So I could remember vividly. And in fact, let me give you a backstory. But the first survey I did, I've never done something of sort before, you know. I've read about some others, you know, McKinsey does surveys and all that, but I've never really, you know, been part of any survey. So, but in my mind, I was like, whoa, I'll just do anything I like, Jerry. I won't be stressy and all that. And I could remember vividly, it was on a Wednesday that I submitted. In fact, I was actually at a bar. You know, I just used my phone for my laptop. I said, somebody called me, guy, how far? I'm going to go show you now. I said, I get job where they do. My boy, come there, you finish, you round it up. So eventually when I, you know, submitted it in and, you know, you came back to me, you were like, it was perfect, you know, that was nice. I was like, oh, wow. Like me, I've already scored myself low, you know. So from there, you know, took on project that I wasn't even aware about. I don't know how to go about it, but eventually I was able to pull something off. And, you know, finding the purpose, you know, along that journey, delving into project management, you know, being certified as a project manager, and it's been a wonderful journey. And I've actually found a space where I can be useful and where I can actually, you know, mentor people. I actually have somebody that, in fact, unknowingly I've been mentoring somebody. You know, so it's been wonderful. It's been fun. You know, I'm still learning, and you know, and the doors. So I'm not shutting out the door. I'm not closing the door for people that are coming behind, because I actually have, you know, people too that reach out to me that I've been mentoring too. So it's been fun.
The essence of what we do at Get Urgent 2K is to drop updates. and updates that can allow more people to earn from what we have earned. And I appreciate that you imbibed that behavior where you introduce more people to the opportunities and you spread it amongst your community. But something that is beautiful that you touched on that I also wanted to point out for the listeners is that as the gig economy continues to shape, it's crucial that there's a platform that can help you track the jobs that you've done, so that you can also use those jobs to acquire opportunities in a formal system.
Yes.
Either in a financial credit system.
Yes.
We one of the features of our platform is you see your financial reporting, you see the amount you've made, you
Yes.
see the gigs you've
They've
done.
done, yes.
As we evolve with the platform, we are hoping that we can become the #1 repository for gig workers, whereby they can provide so much we can provide them with so much information that they can use in their secondary world, either
Yes.
as a LinkedIn badge or as a financial information to access loan,
Yes.
But all of this we are going to evolve in gradually. And thank you for coming on the journey with us as we continue to drop updates and as we continue to develop the Get Urgent 2K platform. But finally, just say for the camera and for anybody that may be able to connect with your work and engage with you, how can they find you? How can they support your projects and engage with what you're doing? Just a final word for the camera.
Well, the only I've actually not thought about this because most of I think for the past few days the issue I've been having is that, in fact, when I checked the okay, let me just say this. So I was trying to tweak my resume, and I found out that I have 6 pages of resume because of Urgent 2K. Because of Urgent 2K, I've had projects that I've done that I had to put there. So I think before I answer the question, I would like to touch on this. And one of the most important thing take away from a gig economy is that you are not stuck in a particular spot, right? It opens you to different spaces, right? Like I've done a project in a fintech space. I've done in a quick service restaurant space. Right, so there are key takeaways from there. Like I've learned a whole lot across different industries, which ordinarily somebody that is just sitting down, in an agency, doing the same thing over and over again. You understand? I think I stand more chance, to speak authoritatively more than somebody that is just sitting down somewhere, because I have an experience that is cut across different sector, and which is still growing.
All thanks to Get Urgent 2K.
All thanks to Urgent 2K.
Get
Urgent 2K.
.com.
So, well, for now, if you want to get to see me, the POI community, I'm there, and I'm also on Urgent 2K platform, and I'm on LinkedIn. Ogunlepe Oluwaseun, Michael.
As a certified project
manager.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael, for ever being so dependable. You're a big, important part of our community, and continue to be the light and the shining guide.
Thank you very much.
Join us on updates.
You're welcome.